Good morning. Hello to everyone or whoever happened to come across this. Um, I was contemplating really hard, even about doing this video, and the reason that was um, the officer that was found guilty, rightfully so, that killed George Floyd was convicted on all charges. And when I seen it happen, I was at work, like I usually am. And I started crying. Not boo-hoo crying, but tears rolling down the face. And another driver saw me, and another driver saw me, and they asked me, "Why are you crying?" They're like, "No offense, but it wasn't your family member. You didn't get no part of the money. So why are you crying?" And I had to explain to them that why I cry is because I cry because there's a glimmer of hope for change. I cry for the pride in the black. So, in that small time, I had to explain to them real quick. I had to explain to them real quick that from where I stand, it's a big difference from where they stand. Yeah, we both do the same, pretty much almost the same job. We pretty much almost live the same lives, but our lives are different. So I had to ask him a question. And I pulled these questions out of my life and out of my family members' lives. I asked them, when events like this happen, are you pretty much the only white or Asian person that lives in an all black neighborhood? And because I live in a majority white neighborhood, which I have to keep an eye out for my children and children that doesn't belong to me. I have to keep my ear open in case something happens. He said no. The other driver said no. So I said, are you 2 to 3 generations removed from slavery? One says no. The other one says what that has to do with it. And I had to explain. Us not getting the rights that white people got when they came to this land is not the same. Just because this land was not found, how you gonna find land when someone is already inhabiting it? But still on that note, I'm like, anybody in your family was made to sit up there and change their names because you couldn't pronounce it? I'm like, I'm like, did anybody say anything to any of the white football players that took a knee? Or any of the white soldiers that happens to drive a nice car? I'm like, I got family members that served, and my father, which passed away, served in Vietnam. I'm like, did any of the white soldiers had to put metal pots and pans in the back of their backpack or the back of their shirt for they wouldn't have to worry about getting shot in the back? Or worry about driving from work to get home, and hopefully you get home? Or, for instance, do you have to worry about when you go to the doctor, is the doctor actually going to listen to you and take care of you? Because you're black. Because in the medical books, it's set up that black people are more resilient to pain than white, Asian, Mexican, they're more resilient to pain. This is their whole medical setup. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Matter of fact, look it up in some of the medical cases where people is suing because they got hurt at work. Because the reason that is because, and here's a borderline thing. As far as the beginning for black people's pain, I'm like, have you ever had any of your family members during slavery get used as guinea pigs or get whooped by a whip? And because they didn't holler out at the first crack of the whip or the first cut, because they knew for a plain fact that's what they wanted to hear. Or do you have to worry about when you get in a car that looks too goddamn good, that you work blood, sweat, and tears to get? Do you have to worry about getting pulled over because you are black and that car looks too damn good for you to be in? Or riding a motorcycle that looks too damn good for you to be riding? Or a SUV Jeep, and you're in high school and it happens to have too much beef underneath the engine for you to have, and you sit in the back of the cop car unaware that your rights is being taken until you get home to tell your parents exactly what happened. Or have your race ever go to a police officer to ask for help, but you are so damn nervous because just speaking to a police officer to ask him for help might get you locked up or hurt? Because, believe it or not, police officers was not a thing. You had sheriffs, you had deputies, you had judges. Policing really didn't come around until freedoms was given out, supposed to be freedoms. Or take it for instance, did you ever have to worry about someone coming in your house in the middle of the night snatching your child up because he might have whistled at a white woman or a black woman or a woman in general? He just and worry about him never ever being seen alive again. We can go on. We can go on and on. And I explained this to him. I even said, do you have to worry about you getting affronted about not doing a good job? Or going into a store and get accused of stealing, which you didn't steal anything, just to have the police harass you or whoop your ass or lock you up or pull a gun out on you, and then to come to find out you didn't steal a damn thing, but you get no apologies. Have you ever had to go through that? I guess that one hit a nerve with the Asian truck driver because he left. And the other truck driver, he didn't quite say anything after that. I'm like, and what I came to the realization is, if you want to know and that's how it's becoming a change. If you want to know and people start asking questions, and it starts with why, a change has came. A change is coming. It was much more to the conversation, but we all had to get back to work. So I'm making this just to give a slight pinch of a view why black people cried when we heard he was convicted on all charges. It's because it was hope to be treated fairly and equally. That's why. A small nip of hope and I guarantee you, if you ask people who know me, they'll tell you I don't cry for shit. Excuse my language, but I don't. But I cry for him. I cry for that 20-year-old father. I cry for the truck driver, which to me was bullshit. If you are found in the back of your trailer, hung with your hands behind your back, that is not a fucking suicide. That is not a suicide. Because here's the question. How did you get up there? If your hands are tied behind your back, how did you get up there? And I know that young man. I don't want to make this too long, but yeah, that's why we cry. We have hope and we have pride. And we always looking for a better way. We just wanted to be treated fairly and equally. And I'm gonna be honest, for people who don't understand, I have actually thought about just making videos and explain what it is to be black in America. Oh, you wearing the flag? Yeah. You see, it's great. It don't have the flag colors on it. I support troops. I support the police. I support police officers that treat us with dignity and respect. And that's not trying to find the smallest of things on us just to make it, quote unquote, a reasonable to pull us over. I would rather, it was only one time I got pulled over by a policeman just because he had a question where I got my rims from. Not saying, oh, I stole them, is where I got my rims from. He never seen them anything like that. And as a black child, that right there was a shock to the system. Not pull over, you stole the shit. Not pull over, the vehicle was stolen. Hey, can you pull over real quick? I just got a question to ask you about the rims. They look cool as hell. Do you know that was a shock to the fucking system? And I was 18 years old. That was already after I got pulled over 3 times on bullshit. I wasn't speeding. I was minding my own business, and I was enjoying my music. And one of the times, I wasn't even driving. I was just sitting in the damn car, enjoying my music. But I'm gonna let you go. I know this is long as hell. I wasn't meant for it to be this long, but it is what it is. Y'all have a blessed, stay safe. Please, y'all, even though you got the shot, wear your mask, because the shot only helps you from getting it. It don't help you from passing it. That's what they need to tell people. Even though you got the shot, you won't get sick from it, but you can still pass it. Wear your mask, people. Thank you and God bless.